What's up, fam? Well, it's January the 6th, and today we are remembering what happened last year, January the 6th. It was a sad occasion to see half of America believing that they could change something, the democracy, by force. And in the process, everything else fell to the wayside, like Blue Lives Matter. Didn't matter to them anymore. Only thing that mattered was to change the outcome of the decision. Peaceful transfer was not even on their mind. It was all about violence. And a lot of people got caught up in the crosshairs. There was a lot of people who were Republicans who felt as if they lost, and they're going to go through exactly what everybody before them went through, was a peaceful transfer. And when they heard of the resistance starting to rise, we're talking about the Republicans, when they heard about the resistance and they got caught up in the moment and they joined a movement that was totally against the democracy of this country. So now that put police officers, all our servicemen, at a direct conflict with the people who felt as if this was stolen. Now, a peaceful process of transfer is something that happens from the beginning of this whole political system, something we all had to adjust to, we didn't like. Just think about it. A lot of black people, black and brown people over the years had to deal with things that this government had decided for them, and we didn't like it. We complained about it. We may have even protested. But to take it as far as trying to literally run up in the Capitol and make a change, that's something that we really wasn't thinking of that. And I think we just wanted a fair and peaceful process to happen. Fair for us. Actually fair for everybody. Fair for the entire United States. And we had to deal with this year in and year out, regardless what the outcome was. And most times the outcome was not in the favor of the brown and black people of America. But we dealt with that. We dealt with it. Now here comes 2021, where there's a group, half of America, truly don't like the fact that they lost. And being that, they're going to follow a movement that's totally against the country as a whole. They're going to follow a movement that meant terrorism, to win by force. This is not what you want to teach your children. It's not what I want to teach my children. Don't be a sore loser. A lot of us realize that. Black and brown people realize that. It builds better character, actually. Now, we have amongst our ranks some really bitter people. Do I blame them for being bitter because the country has not been in their favor? Not really, not 100%. Being angry is one thing, but acting in a way that's totally against the entire country is another. Yes, I've been an angry black man as well. In my young time, when I realized really how wicked this country has been to us, I wanted to go out and do some things. I thought about doing some wicked things, but I wouldn't do them because I knew the harm that it would bring to the people that I love. And I wouldn't have gotten far, bottom line. So I had to accept the loss, accept the change that I felt that I was not even in. I wasn't in the decision making of change that was this country's move forward. I felt like the country was making decisions and moving forward without my input. I just had to deal with whatever they laid down. Just like a bad deck of cards. Whatever you're dealt with, you make the best of. And that's what it seems like black and brown people had to do ever since I can remember. But now, 2021, January the 6th. Okay? You got one party that totally lost in the election and didn't want to accept it. And because they didn't want to accept it, they basically just tried their absolute best to force it to go their way when we already knew, and we know that these are the things that the people didn't want to accept. Half of the country didn't want to accept the fact that they lost, the election in 2021. So they cooked up a lie, as usual. It seemed like there's always lies about just simply trying to change people's mind in their direction. Now, black and brown people before 2021 and before Obama and before all of the rest of those guys, we all had to take whatever was going down. However way they decided for this country, we dealt with that. We complained about it, but we never tried to run up into a Capitol and change things. We just simply said, you know what? We know how this country is. We know exactly what these lawmakers are doing, and they're doing it to us. We felt like we are just a target. We're just like being used, because basically, if you think about the income that black and brown people can generate for this country, and all the things that we've contributed to this country, really didn't mean anything in the long run. But then whatever the country came down with as far as passing laws and who won in the political war, we just dealt with it. We didn't have a choice. We felt like, for us to band together and try to overthrow the government was just the stupidest thing ever. And there was no way in the world that a black man was going to win in this country trying something like that. That's ridiculous in this country. Regardless of how wicked this country has been to black and brown people. So what we had to do is bite down on the bullet and deal with all the bull that came our way for decades and decades on end. And we did that. And we're still doing it. We're still doing it. Because now it seems as if it's okay to stand up against the government. Now, they complained about us, black and brown people, feeling as if that standing up for police brutality was wrong by not saluting the flag. That was our way of protest. Peaceful I must say. How peaceful can you get by not standing when they sing to the flag of the United States? We kneel, or we'll put a fist up, but we're not standing with our hands crossed our heart. We don't feel as if the country was in our favor, because by allowing the police to continue their brutality against brown and black people, and when you catch them, you devise a way to get them off the hook. How is that a patriotic thing to stand for? That is not a patriotic thing to stand for. So we had to protest in some type way, because if we went out in the streets and protest about it, or ran up in the Capitol, there'll be many dead black and brown people all over the place. So no, we didn't take that approach. The approach that we take is protest, as peaceful as possible, until somebody tries to ignite the protest. BLM movement would have tried any of that. Of course, it would have been too many dead black and brown people around the Capitol and wherever else they may have tried to overthrow any parts of the government. So we had to take it, and we dealt with a lot of the injustice that has been dealt to us, and we're still dealing with it. But one thing we realized, though, when I say we, I'm talking about black and brown people. What we realize is that by banding together can literally make an impact, not just here in this country, but around the world. Now, I've spoke about this stuff before. Now, one thing, it seemed like we have a nice pocket of people that will understand the fact that standing together is very important. And then we have the other pocket of people who just think about self. And then you got that third pocket of people who are just going to turn over on the other side, that are literally not in the better interest of us, and work for them because of the money. Now, what this is all about right here with me today, this is about January 6th, the insurrection, the attempted coup. That's exactly what it was. And the service people who literally protected the lawmakers that day with their lives, actually. Some of them actually died. The lady who ran up in there, the first one injured fatally, was a radical person. Why was she even there, a female, on the front line trying to climb through the window, or being pushed through the window of the Capitol, and got shot? She didn't have to be there. If she wanted to be a part of that movement, she could have been there, but not up trying to be the first one in the building. So now I see that what they're doing is all the fallen Capitol Police that protected the Capitol that day are being honored. We are honoring today, January the 6th of 2022, the people, the Capitol Police, who fought valiantly to keep out the insurrectionists. We have to give thanks to them, because if it wasn't for them, things would be a lot different right now. The slow-acting actions of the president at that moment was somebody who gave up on their duties. They call it a derelict of duty. They gave up. He actually watched TV